Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the final round of the Project Cars 2 GT3 League for PS4. And we are going to Fuji in Japan for the final round of Project Cars 2. Not sure if it's ever or anything like that, but it's going to definitely be one to remember. I am Jess, and I'm doing the intro this week because Evil let me, which is great, and I'm excited, but Evil's Discord is playing up. So for the time being, he's going to try to do the cameras without him knowing what I'm talking about because there's going to be a bit of a delay until his Discord is fixed. So yeah, a little bit of facts about the track. Started in the 1960s as a Honda Suzuka test track. And in 1964, a 1.5 million square meter site was bought. And the design took its inspiration from the Daytona Speedway and was to feature two long straights connected by banked corners. And the first of these bank corners was well underway when Sterling Moss actually visited the track. More about the track a bit later on, but you're still going to hear Evil's voice as we got a little bit of a hot lap for you, just in case for those of you that didn't see it last week, of the Fuji track, the Fuji Speedway. Enjoy.
So hello everyone and welcome for a quick hot lap with Mr. Evil Dragon here. Coming down into turn number 1, tricky downhill braking zone here. The ugly inside line in turn number 1 there, about first gear, second gear depending on the car. Bring the car right to the side on this corner here. Now running down into Coca-Cola. Uphill braking zone here. It flans out down the bottom, then rises slightly up. Take the inside line here. Let the car roll out as wide as you can without going too wide, of course. You can lose the rear end quite hard onto that corner into 200R then. Just keep the car balanced. No matter what you do, it's going to try and slide on you. Watch out for the exit because those curves will fling you off into the barrier and it will not hurt quite as much as you think. Down to the hairpin. Let the car run a little bit wide here, taking the inside line not as good as the outside because you take more momentum on the outside line here into 300R. Tricky little corner sometimes in the wet and the dry, absolutely perfect. Downhill braking, down into the Dunlop chicane then. Watch out for the braking zone here, good opportunity for overtaking in the race. First gear, corner, take it nice and smooth on the exit. This corner a little bit tricky, second gear depending as well on the car, bring the car up on the exit. Curb on the outside there will always kick you wide like you just did there. Into turn 15 and 16 we go then. A little bit tricky on the exit here. The rear end wants to step out. This corner always cambered, so also adds up for the inside of the corner. Let the car run through there. Don't want to see the slap. I run a little bit too wide there, but absolutely on the limit indeed. This last corner as well. Cambered. Lets you carry a lot more speed than you can, but it tightens on the exit as well. So make sure you keep yourself nice and wide on the exit. Make sure you get best momentum down the straight in this beautiful BMW, might I say as well. And hopefully everyone has a beautiful race for this afternoon's, well, this evening's motor race indeed, here in Fuji Speedway. I've been Evil. Hope you're having a good day.
So there we go then. That was a little bit of a hot lap for you, and we got 7 minutes to go of qualifying, and we've got a championship decider on our hands with two drivers going to be in the title fight. I would usually show you the standings now, but we haven't got long left of qualifying, and I really want to show you the action here today. So I'm going to be telling you what's at stake between our two championship leaders, Jazzman and Tinnis. So, Jazzman is currently second in the championship, so he is technically the championship rival, whereas Tinnis is leading by 13 points. And all Jazzman needs to do, if Jazzman wants to win the title here today, he needs to outscore Tinnis by 14 points. If he does that, he is champion. Basically, for Tinnis, it's a lot easier. If Tinnis beats Jazzman, or if Jazzman outscores Tinnis by less than 13 points, then Tinnis would be champion here today. And it looks like we've got pretty much all the drivers here today on circuit. We are expecting potentially some people to go into the 1 minute 36s, and it's going to be quite a lot of corners here to overtake. In particular, these sets of corners heading towards the final corner now. Big Kid Daddy was suffering some connection issues last week, unfortunately. He couldn't get into the session, which was a bit of a shame, but he's back now and he's raring to go. Him and Ethan are fighting for third place in the championship. Even though it's a 29-point gap between him and Rotary at the moment. Well, Big Kid Daddy is in third, Rotary is in fourth, so that should be interesting, but you never know with these situations. But in my opinion, it's going to go in a Big Kid Daddy's favour due to the points gap that he has got. Overtaker was looking really, really good in, the qualifying we had last week before the race got postponed. He was probably in third or second place, but he's in fourth at the moment with a 1:38.4, 1.4 seconds off the pace right now. Let's just hope that we don't curse him too much in the race, because a few times we cursed him, he has had a bad one. He's only won one race, and that was in the second race in Dakota, and a great race that was for him. An unexpected win, but we always like unexpected wins, as he comes across the line now, and he's going to be a little bit off the pace at the moment. That was just his outlap. Rotary, the only guy to not set a lap time at the moment, but everybody else has set one. Zout, 101 currently in last of the runners so far, set a lap time with a 1:39.997. So a little bit more information about the track. The circuit opened in 1965, as I said, and Jim Clark actually sampled this circuit back in the day as well. The American connections were made in the circuit. NASCAR used to race here as well. Jackie Stewart actually raced in the Fuji 200 race back in the day as well. And there was a lot of configuration changes as well throughout the years. Some of them were due to health and safety reasons. It was running its normal clockwise configuration, and then they had to change it due to dangerous things. And obviously F1 came here in Fuji quite a few times as well. Not sure what to think of that as well. Pit facilities were upgraded as well. And there was the late 1990s, there was a crash, really, really big crash, which forced them to change the circuit just a little bit more, unfortunately. But here we are in the circuit that we are today. Scold is racing here today. He was meant to be racing last week, but obviously due to PSN issues, it stopped him from doing that. But me and Evil were speaking last week whilst the qualifying was happening, and the Renault seems to be pretty good around here. He's currently fifth at the moment, not that far behind Overtaker, so he's got to find, I think, about a few hundreds to make sure he gets ahead of that. This is the common overtaking spot on the circuit. You can see him and Big Kid Daddy in the same camera shot at the moment. I've just been informed that the Windows update for Mr. Evil Dragon is 40% done, so I've told him to restart his PC, because that's usually the outcome for some things. If Discord doesn't work, restart your PC. So hopefully it does. Fingers crossed, eh? So we have got Skull coming towards the start-finish straight right now. Let's see if he can improve on his time, see if he can beat any of the top four. And he's, I think I just got that straight completely wrong, so I do apologise. This is the start-finish straight coming into the grid now. Where does he slot in? He's 2.1 seconds off the pace, so we couldn't improve on his lap, but he still has one more lap to go. Big Kid Daddy, 8 tenths down on his best. Overtaker, just a little bit down, but he's on his final lap. Pren, right now, is coming towards the final corner too as well in 7th place at the moment. Can he go any quicker than the 1:38.915? Let's see what he can do. Nope, he cannot, as he's about to start his final lap as well. Most of them are around about 6 litres left of fuel at the moment. And Tinnish, your championship leader, still on pole at the moment. Essa looking good in 8th position. And really good in the championship as well. Slicker as well in the lovely looking Ferrari livery, which I really love, as everyone is about to start their final laps, as that's why they are down at the moment. Davies out, is about to start his lap as well. Quite a few people on their laps, and it'll be the last time we see the Bentley on Project Cars 2, and that makes me really, really sad, I've got to say. So anyway, but Vetro comes across the line, and he's one tenth quicker than his previous best, puts him in 9th place for the 1:39.1. which is pretty good for him. Jazzman, who's got to outscore Tinnis by 14 points today, is in second place, and just by 3/100ths of a second. That's really, really close indeed. So if it stays as it is, even if Jazzman beats Tinnis, he's got to be a few places. Tinnis has got to be a few places down in order to actually win at the title. So it's going to be a tough order, but Jazzman wished Tinnis, his teammate, the best of luck earlier on as well, and they won the team's championship quite a long time ago. They've been quite dominant. Just reminds me of obviously Boyraxer and Gaza the last few seasons where they were Mercedes dominant. There's only one Mercedes here tonight and for the whole of this season, and that is obviously South 101. But it's just great because the first season I actually did in Project Cars 2 was the Xbox One, and that was when the Lambos were dominating, and on the last season on Project Cars 2 on PS4, the Lambos are dominating. So it's come full circle. Tinnis has set the fastest lap at the moment. Overtaker then. Overtaker has caused a few surprises this season. Is he going to cause a few surprises here tonight as he's about to say his final lap? We got 10 seconds left to go as the checker flag is about to drop. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars on circuit at the moment. We'll see who is behind Overtaker in a second. The checker flag has dropped, so whoever is still on the track is allowed to complete their lap. So that's Tinnis, Overtaker, Essa, Pren, Davies out, and Overtaker. And Overtaker has just spun there. He's not going to complete his lap, and he's in the pit lane. So we just got the likes of Pren to finish his lap as well in the Ferrari. Looking quite good in 7th, but I'm sure he wants something higher than that as well. Shame you can't see the fuel, because I kind of wanted to know if he was running out of fuel. But I heard this corner has definitely caught a lot of people off guard here tonight. So I think that's why a few people were spinning off just a little bit. So Pren is just going to come across the final corner now, and then we're waiting for 3 more guys after that to cross the line. It's a very, very long straight actually. The start-finish straight as well, and a very long pit entry as well. So that is going to be very interesting. Another prominent place for overtaking in the race. Let's see what Pren can do. Comes across the line now, and it is a... Oh, I don't think he improved on any time there, and neither... What about Tinnis? I think he wants to try and get a faster lap for glory, and he does not. And we just got Essa Racing, who see if he can get higher than 9th place. He goes 8th, so that is pretty good for Essa Racing. And I think we're just waiting for one more person to cross the line, and that's Davies out, who I think he is doing a lap, or he might be going very, very slowly. It is impossible to tell these days. So let's see, can he get higher than 13th? Ethan, the only man not to tell lap time, so he might have had some technical issues. Not entirely sure about what's happened there, but I'll find out pretty soon nonetheless. So, we have got Tinnis on pole position here today at Fuji Speedway, and we've got Jazzman in 2nd, Overtaker 3rd, Big Kid Daddy 4th, Pren 5th, Scold in 6th, Chicano in 7th, a pretty good qualifying result for him in the Ferrari. Then we got Essa in 8th, Slicker 9th, then we got Vetro in 10th, then we got Zhao in 11th, Davies out 12th, so we got the 2 Zhao brothers going head to head. I think they're sharing a row as well, so that could prove to be very interesting for the final race. And every person in 13th, and obviously Ethan, SMN Rotary did not set a lap time there. So just a quick reminder of the championship whilst the people load in to the session. So, Tinnis is leading on 348 points with Jazzman on 335 points. Don't forget, Jazzman needs to outscore Tinnis by 14 or 15 points for him to take the title. Tinnis will just need to outscore Jazzman in order to take the title. And we got Biggie Daddy in 3rd, Ethan in 4th, Vetro in 5th, Chicano in 6th in the standings, every person in 7th, Darren Sinclair in 8th. I think he's not here tonight. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll need to double check about that. Essa Racing in 9th. Then we got Davies out in 10th in the standings, Pren in 11th, Slicker 12th, Overtaker 13th, Zout in 14th, and Scold in last place. He did not finish the last race in, I think it was Sportland Sugo, I think, as well. So that was a bit of a shame. But there we go. We are about to start the final race. There was quite a lot of memories in Project Cars 2 ever since it first started on the PS4. It was absolutely amazing. I can actually tell you quite a few at the moment. Let me just go through. There we go. Let me go and get this up. So let me just go through a few things actually. Season 15, remember in Monaco, Matt Jordan was spinning, blocking the circuit. And remember, season 14 in Watkins Glen, Tinnis ran out of fuel on the last lap, losing the lead here and there and there. That might cost it a few points in the championship. There was a few other things that happened. Tobias spinning in front of the leader, second to last lap in Ossusleben. There was a multi-car piled up in season 10 in Donington Park as well. And that was the closest ever finish we've ever had. And that was in season 14 in Hockenheim. Top 3 finish was within a second. We'll go for a few more later on if the action quietens down a little bit. But the 5 red lights are on. But it is the AOR rolling start, of course. So they're going to wait a few more seconds. 3, 2, 1. And here we go. So we have got Tinnis going to be leading the field away. So the top 2 in the championship are in the top 2 in the race. So we've got everyone ready to go then for the final race. Ethan starting at the back. And we get to see their liveries for the final time. Now they've got 95 litres of fuel. Expect different pit strategies for these guys. Some of them may want to pit early to do the undercut. Some of them, like Tinnis, maybe would want to pit later. So Skalder, we got Chicano, we got Essa, Slicker, Vetro, Zout, every person, Davey, and then Ethan. So who is excited for the final round of GT3 ever? It was the final round last week for the PC side. I had a quick watch of that whilst the PS4 race got postponed, and it was a little bit of a bittersweet moment, but we are hoping to see some great action here tonight, and I hope you're looking forward to it. It has 15 corners, this circuit, and we are excited about what this race will unfold with us. So we are heading towards the formation zone pretty soon, and that means we'll get to the acceleration zone, and then we can get racing for the final time. It's going to be weird, these guys not racing on a Wednesday night. And it's going to be weird us not commentating on a Wednesday night, because it's come our passion at the moment. And for the first time in, like, ever, well, the first time since Xbox One, I get to do the start. So that should be a little bit of fun. So Tinnis will be the one to decide when to go as they all form up, ready. Tinnis may decide to go when he wants in the acceleration zone. He's got to do it sooner, because otherwise people behind him are going to have a really good start and he won't benefit from it. But Tinnis is going to leave it as late as he possibly can, which is the best thing to do, I've got to say, for Tinnis. He's the one who likes leaving it late. Jazzman is also keen to get going. And are we ready then? The final race of GT3 PS4 Elite Tier begins really soon, as I got it hyped up nice and early, and it is lights out, and away we go. Tinnis has got to a really good start off the line. Jazzman stays in second place for Overtaker, trying to make a move on to the left-hand side of your screen. So is Big Kid Daddy as well. Big Kid Daddy has gone off, almost made the move work, but we can see he's gone off. Overtaker and Jazzman still going side by side. Some very good racing between the both of them, but Overtaker looks like he's got the better line here as well. We got S2, the Porsches at the back, trying to fight for position 2, which is really great to see. Tinnis already pulling away, and that is just what he wants at the moment. Overtaker goes for the move, he gets the job done, and there's a massive pile-up already as Vetro spins, and we've got one of the Ferraris that spun as well, and that's Pren, who is upside down. That is a very weird place to be, and I think that he has to end his race there, unless he has a reset button, because there's no way you're going to recover from that. That is very unfortunate. There, that looked awful, I've got to say. But there we go. Vetro may have to go into the pits, as does a few other guys as well. But that's allowed some of the other guys to move up positions. Every person has had a good start as well. And so is Slicker. Slicker up into 4th place. Every person up to 5th. Scold stays in 6th position. Not doing too bad. I do believe he's dropped one position though, but Tinnis leads the way by 1.5 seconds. But Jazzman is hunting for second. He does not want to lose that many points to Tinnis. He doesn't want to have that advantage. But you can see Jazzman is getting a really good run on the start-finish straight then. Heading past the final corner. Now to the start-finish straight on the grid. Let's see then. Overtaker has to cover off to the right. Here comes Jazzman to the left into turn number 1. You can see Tinnis not very, very close indeed. I think Jazzman's going to get that edge on him at the moment. And yes, he does. Excellent stuff. But you can see Overtaker may get the opportunity in the next turn coming up pretty soon. Potentially going towards the swooping turns 4 and 5 into what is called 100R actually. It kind of reminds me of 130R, but it's a little bit more swooping as well. But we got some more midfield battles happening as well. We got Davies out in the back of this as well, and we've got every person who's dropped all the way down to 7th now. Rotary has had a good start. He's up into 5th place, so he must have avoided all the trouble as well. So every person has been overtaken by both the Porsches actually. The Porsche's looking very strong compared to the McLarens on circuit at the moment. And so is the Bentley too. So let's see what the Bentley can do as he tries to get past. Oh, there was a bit of a contact there. That forces the Bentley of Davies out off the circuit. And that was the commentator's curse there. I do apologise. And we've got the Mercedes of Zout doing very well in 8th position. This is not where we would expect it to be, but he just made a good move as well. Big Kid Daddy all the way down in 10th place. That is not what he wants to secure 10th. But don't forget the gap between Ethan and Big Kid Daddy, 29 points. So anything is possible. Ethan, I believe, will need to be a little bit higher if he wants to secure 3rd in the championship. I'll have to do some maths at the end of the stream, but there we go. But he's got, Big Kid Daddy has got to make moves in order to make sure he secures it, because otherwise he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. But every person is probably not used to that type of pressure earlier on in the race. Maybe later on in the race. Here comes Zhao. He's on the charge. One who's last in a championship, who's fighting for the midfield positions here today. The Mercedes car looking good around this circuit. He's getting used to this car now. He can't get past every person as of yet. But he's going to try and have a go again. Nope, he's forced to concede. He doesn't want to cause too many incidents as well. Big Kid Daddy's still on the back of this as well. Could try and force a way past the Bentley perhaps. But he doesn't at this stage. And if I was him, I think he's doing the right thing to stay behind these lot. Because if someone has a little bit of an issue or a little bit of a spin or a bit of a mistake or anything like that, then he could get past some of these guys. Now here comes Big Kid Daddy once again. The next overtaking opportunity of the circuit. All following each other at the moment, not taking any unnecessary risk. But here comes Big Kid Daddy. Goes to the left-hand side of his right. And here he goes then. Can he get the lunge on the Bentley? But the Bentley is saying, you're not having that position. Oh, there was a really big touch there. As Davies out had spun, unfortunately. And Big Kid Daddy's being very sportsmanlike. I think he's going to wait for Davies out. And I think he's saying, sorry, that was my fault. You go past, my friend. And I've got to say, Big Kid Daddy is always a sportsman at heart. He likes being fair, and if he knows that he's caused trouble, he does not want to take advantage of that. So that's why he is in forced to do that. We've already got our first penalty of the session, and that is Rotary, I believe, who's got 1 or 2 seconds. Now track limits, as we've seen in qualifying, could be a bit prevalent here today, so we may see it today as well. Let us know in the chat who your favourite what your favourite season of Project Cars 2, and it's good to see some familiar and some returning faces as well in the chat. We've got Austin Knight, who was a previous AOR commentator, who now actually does iRacing commentary for some really successful leagues, and hope you're doing well, my friend. But anyway, Zout looking very impressive. Here we go, Big Kid Daddy. He's got to go for the lunge this time, but he's not going to make the same mistake as last time. But he's still going to carry on with that mindset that he wants to get that move done. And he's going to try anyway, going side by side now. The Lambo has more powerfulness. I said the word wrong, but who cares? compared to the Bentley, and this time he does get past, and he's up into 9th place. So both these two have dropped positions, which is a bit of a shame, but that has allowed Ethan to get a little bit more confidence. He probably is not expecting to be third, but he wants to have some fun. I hope majority of these guys stay on circuit. Now, we lost one driver, and I do believe that's Prem, because he was upside down. So, unfortunately, Prem is out of the race. Hopefully, I can get a little bit of information in the PSN chat as to what his experiences was. But, yeah, that was a bit unfortunate for him. Scald is going to be fighting against his old fellow comrade as well. That's going to be quite good. And we got Slicker as well, who is in 4th. We've got Rotary hunting down every neck at the moment. I think the Ferrari seem to be a little bit faster than the Porsches here this weekend. Right now, compared, because Overtaker's obviously in 3rd. We've got Slicker in 4th place. So I think it's going to be hard for Ethan to get past, but, you know, Ethan likes a challenge, and if he gets past him, you'll probably be really happy with that. We're on lap 6 at the moment. Anything can happen here in Project Cars 2. And, you know, it's great to see, yes, I do agree with Austin. It's great to see some great sportsmanship from these drivers. That's what I would do in that situation. You can see Rotary right on the back of Slicker now. Heading to, I need to actually get the turn numbers on my screen. Let me just have a look. Heading towards turn 12, 13, well, just past turn 12 actually. And into turn 14 and into 13 and into 14 now. And I think the best opportunity could be by the Bosonic corner into Dalshy. I think that's how you say it. Dalshy is obviously turn 1. And you can hear the engine sounds for the very last time. So we're going to see then. We'll see if Rotary has a better straight line speed compared to Slicker. Don't forget, Rotary's got to be cleared by a few seconds after he's overtook him due to the penalty. Looks like he's going to go to the right. Is Slicker and Rotary going to leave much space? He's going to try at least. Tries to go to the left, his left and our right, but we've got Slicker closing the door there. And I think Ethan's trying to find every opportunity, but just can't quite do it at this stage. And who will be the first lot to pit? I wonder if some of these guys will pit very soon. If they're stuck in traffic, maybe that would benefit them. We've seen in a few tracks that the undercut could be powerful. Don't forget, the first race in Daytona, we saw quite a few people do the undercut. And that worked wonders, and that really jumped a few people on the grid. If someone could let me know if the undercut is powerful around this circuit, that'll be great to see. We can see Rotary trying to go for the move once again, still on the back, but look at who is behind these guys. We've got Essa, the other Porsche, who's caught up quite considerably. Looking at the lap times, we've got Tinnis and Jazzman on the 1 minute 38, and we've got Overtake on the 1 minute 39, so's Ethan as well. The only other people in the 139 is Big Kid Daddy, Scold, and Chicano, and Vetro as well. Everybody else in the 140s. I think Esther will probably go into the 139s, or he probably was in the 139s, I think, at some point. Take number 2 for Rotary. He was VSR Rotary, now he's SSM Rotary for quite some time now. Going side by side into turn number 1. But this time, Rotary does make the move stick. But look at this, we can see Slicker was trying to make the switch back there. But we're watching on Zout and every person right now. Zout definitely one of the dark horses of this race so far. But not going to say too much more, because we all know what happened there. So, but yeah, he's doing so well at the moment, showing that he can fight against a big boy, and he's showing to us that he deserves to be in a tier 1 pretty much this season. Skull looking very, very racy. Here we go then, we've got Scold going to the right hand side of Vetro. Both of them been racing in GT3s for quite some time, so this is quite a reunion. Vetro getting the switch back. Skull can't go past him on this occasion though. But both of them looking very even on pace right now. Both of them were on the 139s last lap, but Scold was looking a lot faster. That's why he's trying to get past. Skull's trying to go for risks here on this final race, but if you want to take really, really big risks the final race, you can do it because Skull's got nothing to fight for. Because he'll be last in the championship anyway, because obviously he joins in Sports and Sugo, so he's just racing for fun. Vetro is vying for 5th, but it looks like he's probably going to stay 5th, unless Chicano gets ahead of him. The gap between 5th and 6th is 16 points. So we're seeing some midfield championship battles here as well, as Vetro stays ahead of Skull. But here we go, here comes Skull again. And look at that, Vetro with the nice defense there. Nicely controlled, nicely car controlled. Vetro was a little bit more confident with the car this season. He wasn't very happy with his I think it was I'm not sure if it was an Audi or Ferrari last season, but you know, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, Vetro is being a little bit more confident this season, scoring consistently and scoring in the top 7, top 8 consistently as well. But this could be under threat racing. He's 11th right now, but you never know again what could happen as they both go side by side. They're very, very close indeed. Both taking the shortest run to the line as possible. Vetro's not having any of that. Both leaving as much space as they possibly can. It's great to see. I would like to hear both words from both of them after the race, actually, about this amazing battle. Some battles with them in the past have not ended so well, but this one has ended very, very well too. And there was a few Fuji races in the wet in Project Cars 2 in the past, but luckily they were in the dry because otherwise it would have caused a little bit more issues. I actually forgot to check the weather on the calendar, and it is dry for the whole race. Good. Good. I wasn't reading my mind or anything like that, but anyway. This is like round number 3, round number 4 now. The last sector, according to Evil, could be the great opportunity to overtake. And to be honest, I've got to agree with you. More opportunities to overtake, just like Evil said on this hot lap. Here comes Skull once again. Goes to the right-hand side. Vetro has to cover on the left. But Skull, again, could not get the move. These two have got to be careful, though. They can't hold each other up too much because you've got the likes of Slicker. Every person that could catch up very, very soon. And I've got to say, well done to Vetro. And we've got Davies out in the pit lane, in the Bentley, for his mandatory stop. Don't forget, they've got to do a mandatory stop in this race. If they don't, they will get disqualified. Skull's got to find a different line, I think, to overtake, because Vetro is probably going to predict where he's going to defend for his life. Skull takes a different line this time. And Vetro with the better line, but we have to wait and see. That similar line that Jazzman took earlier on as well. Skull's on the grass that a little bit, so that didn't help him a little bit. But this time Skull gets the move done. Skull was 10th briefly, but Vetro got the move. So that was very, very close there. So he had 11 for quite a second as well. And Austin, don't say that because we don't want any commentators' curses. If that happens, then I'm probably going to blame you on this one. But now, I think this is the only battle on track. The gap between Tinnis and Jazzman is 1.5 seconds. So Jazzman not closing up to Tinnis as we would have liked. Jazzman being faster than Tinnis, so he could get a few tenths per lap potentially soon. A few hundreds per lap, sorry, not a few tenths per lap. And I've got to say, massive props to Evil for doing the cameras and not knowing what the hell I'm talking about, because it's about 10-20 seconds delay. So I've got to say, well done to them. Vetro is doing all he can. Just look at the way he knows Skull's driving style, and that's important. If you know the driving style of the other drivers in the league, that's going to help you decide where you want to plant your car, where you're going to try and go for moves, where you're going to try and defend, and when you're going to go take risks. Because if you can take risks when you know about the driver, then you can. Skull is going to try for the move once again. I'm losing count with how many rounds this is going on for, but this is fantastic from the pair of them. And we can see, I think, Vetro having the better run this time. Can Skull do what Vetro did a lap ago? Trying to cover off? Oh, Nice, Vetro's gone off! Vetro has spun, I think! And that's an example of a commentator's curse, which is very, very sad. They were running so brilliantly. I think Vetro just lost the car all by himself there. That was a bit of a shame. Does he have damage? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So that puts Scold up into 10th, but that means he can try and chase down the big boys. But yeah, I think sometimes some risks just do not pay off, unfortunately. But what a shame. But fair play to Vetro, fair play to Scold. Tinnis surprisingly is in the pits now. I thought Tinnis would be the man to go into the pits later. He's usually the one that pits later, but I'm guessing he wants to get the undercut nice and early. So he's pitted before his teammates, and he slots in just behind in front of Slicker and just behind Essa. So he's got to try and get past traffic now, and that is very crucial around here. I've seen in real life races around Fuji, if people don't get past traffic quick enough, they're going to lose so much time to the people that have not pitted there. And it looked like for Vetro that he had a bit of damage to his right rear, so I won't be surprised if he does go into the pits. But we'll find out ASAP, really. But meanwhile, every person still trying to make his way up the grid after a poor start, but at least he's having some fun battling with the big boys at the moment. Zout still chasing, but there's a 3-second gap towards them at the moment, which is great to see. Let me just get a drink, because I'm not used to doing Project Cars 2 on my own. The last time I did Project Cars on my own was either season 12 or season 13. I can't remember. It might be season 12 or 11. I'm not sure. I'm losing track on the season 12. That's it. Season 12 was the last Project Cars 2 season I did for Xbox One when I was commentating on my own. It did bring back memories, I've got to say. We got Tinnis and Zout getting penalties. Now I wonder, unfortunately can't check the penalties, but Tinnis, it could cost him a bit of things in the race, especially if Jazzman is about a second behind them. That's what all Jazzman needs to do, so maybe Tinnis will have to force Jazzman into a mistake, maybe. Esso's also in the pits as well. Will a few more guys go into the pits after that, after a few other guys? Will they respond to it? Some of them will have to respond, but some of them may take the risk and decide to pit later on in this race. And every person in the McLaren then chasing down for 5th place. His lap times looking quite similar to every person at the moment. Every person a 1:41.0 and Slicker 1:41.1. So that means it could get very spicy between those two for majority of the race. I wonder who's going to blink first between the two. And you can see every person right on the back. Ooh, it's a little bit close. Lay on the brakes there. But this could be the chance going into the next corner, into the next apex. Here we go. And I don't think every person's going to make the move on this occasion. Slicker just had the better straight line speed there. With Slicker. So Slicker stayed in 5th position. And we're seeing some beautiful views of the mountains as well. And look at that. Both Slicker and... Oh, I thought Slicker and every person were going to pit at exactly the same time. But they both decide... Well, Slicker decides it's best to pit now. So it looked like Slicker... So every person was like, shall I pit? Shall I pit? No. Maybe not. So he was, I think it looked like he wasn't sure, in a way. He was not sure at all on what to do. And he probably did the dummy to the ones behind him, but that didn't work for them either. So we're very, very cheeky from every person, but penalties. Ooh, Tinnis with 3 seconds. Rotary on 1, is out on 2, and Vetro on 2. So Tinnis, that is something to watch out for. But, however, it's not going to matter. I will need to get the points tally for each race, because even if Jazzman finishes ahead of Tinnis, just ahead, it's not going to be enough for him to win the title. I will need to do it, so let me get the league rules and regulations up on my screen. Well, you won't be able to see it, but I will. As Jazzman goes into the pit as well for his scheduled stop. I wonder where he's going to come out ahead of the rest of the guys, in particular his rival Tinnis. And that was a very quick pit stop from Jazzman. I do believe Overtaker's still yet to make his stop, so an Overtaker is in the lead of the Grand Prix. But for how much longer, though? Can he do a Tinnis? A few rounds ago, well, some races in this season, where he pitted really, really late, tried to stretch the gap, and that really helped him win the race. Could we see that from Overtaker? So, according to Mr. Evil Dragon, so thank you, because he can't go on Discord, he's able to do some research for me, so thank you very much. So, Tinnis, if Jazzman was to win the race, Tinnis would need 6 or lower for Jazzman to win the title. So, it's going to be a tall order, so... But you never know with penalties. Penalties could decide this race, and could decide the championship if Tinnis is not careful. And I don't think Project Cars 2 can get away with... Because I know GT Sport, you could... Basically... When you get a penalty, you can slow down to try and get rid of those penalties. But in Project Cars 2, I don't think you can. But anyway, Big Kid Daddy on a prance at the moment. He wasn't very impressed with his race so far. Was involved in a few spins. But this time, he's got past the Mercedes of that 101 and up into 6th place. He's around about a few seconds behind every person and Jazzman, but Zout on the charge. He's not letting Big Kid Daddy get this one easy. Zout is probably one of the slowest in this league, but he's doing very well trying to match up to the pace of Big Kid Daddy. He's learning from the big guns, and even just learning being in the same lobby with these lot, and even being in the same battle with them. He's gonna improve so much. Shame it's the last race, really, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, here comes that 101. Can he attack on Big Kid Daddy? No, Big Kid Daddy a lot faster, but we can see a lot of people taking some great lines here. Jazzman is around about, I think, a second behind Jazzman. No, Tinnis. Sorry, Jazzman being a second behind Tinnis. Excuse me. So that's not what he wants. So he's got to try and get past Ethan. Now both of them are quite even on pace, so it's going to be very, very tricky. Don't forget, Ethan has yet to stop right now in this race. But surely this is going to be a good battle either way, going side by side. Ethan's not going to let Jazzman have this one, even if they're on different strategy, but there's going to be a danger that these two might get held up. But Jazzman has passed Ethan and now trying to chase Tinnis. Now that is very, very important. He's got to chase Tinnis, otherwise there's going to be some issues. But Ethan's still looking quite good on Jazzman right now. Let's see what Jazzman and Ethan's times are, because Jazzman's about to cross the line really soon. 1:39.0, Ethan 1:42.1. So Jazzman pitting earlier than Ethan has probably helped him with his lap times. Tinnis on the 1:38.9, while Tinnis is basically on the world of his own at the moment. And I have to agree with Evil. The Lambos, like I said earlier on, Evil might not have catched what I said, but earlier on, the Lambos are definitely really, really fast around the track. I would say the Lambos, followed by the Ferraris, then the Porsches. That goes by my, I think, collective judgment and what I've seen throughout this race. But you never know, we could see some surprises. We got Essa on Slicker. Essa goes to the left of our screen, the right of his screen. But, oh! That was a bit of a touch from Slicker. I hope that's not damaged there. I don't think it was. but Slicker has made a mistake. Essa is now in 9th position. And let me just look at Essa's results this season in the standings. So we've got Essa, whose best finish was in Spa in the 9-minute endurance race with a 3rd place. And to be honest, he was gobsmacked. He was not expecting that at all. So in order, he had a 5th place, a 10th place, a 6th place, a 6th place, and 11th place. He had a retirement in Austria. He had 2 did not start. He had a 9th place, a 3rd place, and a 6th place. So, again, another consistent driver. The lowest he got, apart from retiring, is 11th. Big Kid Daddy, though, his lowest finish was a 12th place. But apart from that, he's been getting 4th, 5th, 6th, 3rd, and 2nd. And I've said it in the wrong order, but to be honest, I don't really care. But anyway, Chicano could be an interesting battle for the midfield battle of the championship. As it stands, we've got the gap between Chicano and Vetro, 16 points now. Chicano in 12th, Vetro in 11th. As it stands, because Chicano is behind Vetro, I'm not sure if Vetro's made a stop or not. Vetro would be taking 5th place, which will be very impressive for him. He's been 5th pretty much the whole season, so it will be great. And his lowest finish was a P10 in Spa and in the first race in Zolder, so both the Belgian races. But I can tell you, he's probably had a little bit more of a fun. And I know Evil can possibly tell me as well what was his favourite season of Project Cars ever since he's commentated, because he's been commentating on the PS4 Project Cars since the beginning. He's commentated on pretty much almost every single season. He's experienced every trial, every tribulation. He's experienced the highs, he's experienced the lows. So, and I obviously was watching, even though I commentated Xbox One, I always watch the PS4 races the day after, because I liked Project Cars too. I always like to catch up on what was going on. So, you know. But anyway, we're pretty much almost halfway into this race now in a lap's time or so. So that means a few people that will think about pitting will need to pit soon. And more penalties in the works at the moment. That is worrying if you're Tinnis. It's worrying if you're Ethan. The ones who are battling for positions in the championship. Big Kid Daddy in 6th position. That is very lucky for him at the moment. I think Big Kid Daddy is going to remain 3rd if he can make some more moves, I think, on his rivals. He's got to get past every person. And I think if he gets past every person, he's pretty much comfortably have got 3rd place in the championship. So more penalties ends out on 2. Skolder got 4. But luckily not many people did get like 30-second penalties, because that would have been horrible. But anyway. And looked like Vetro did stop according to Evil. Thank you very much, Evil, for that. It's hard to know when they have stopped. What I would like happening. I know it won't happen because obviously there's a new game out now. But anyway, I'll talk about that in a minute, as we're seeing a battle between Vetro, Chicano and Essa. Vetro almost making a bit of a mistake there. Vetro being 8 attempts down on his previous best. And Tinnis on 9 seconds. That could cost him. That can cost him. That could swing the championship into Jazzman's favour. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it'll make a difference. I think the only way it would, the only person that would overtake him would be Ethan. So, Jazzman, it wouldn't. No, the only place he would overtake is Jazzman and Ethan. So, I think it wouldn't affect them that much. So let me have a look. So first place gets let me have a look. 40. Second place gets 36. Third place gets 32. Fourth place gets 28. Ooh, that could be interesting. So, as it stands, Tinners could be winning the championship by just 1 point. That'll be the closest margin I've ever had. And whilst there's not much battling happening, Evil has said Season 14 was one of his favourites. And I have to say, I enjoyed Season 14 as well. Pretty much, apart from when I did some GT Sport commentary at another league, not going to say which league, but after that I was watching the PS4 league for Season 14, and it was a great way to spend my Wednesday night, and I really enjoyed it. So I've got to say, I have to agree with you. Season 14, it was really good. And I really enjoyed the championship finale in Spa as well. Double points were on offer as well. That was intense. And here we go, Big Kid Daddy on the lunch then. He's on the hunt. He wants third place in the championship. And I think Big Kid Daddy will overtake him anyway because of every person's time penalty. A few people have stopped due to penalties, but yeah, everyone are the only people that stopped in the big lot, in the top 6, I would say, is Tinnis and Jasmine. I think that's what Evil is saying. Evil doing a little bit of text commentary, I like to see it, so he's not getting his voice, but we're getting his thingy. I wish we could get text to speech, but nah, that won't work. Anyway, Slicker trying to make the move past Vetro. No, it's not. I'm trying to see where he's trying to get past. Vetro, yes, it is Vetro. I almost got confused on who people were. I should know now. It's the final race of the season, for goodness sake. But anyway, Slicker, I think the season could have gone better. Don't forget, he was in Tier 2 last season. But there was some races where he had a lot of fun. I remember I think it was Zolder in the second race where he slowed down for fun to have a battle with his teammate, and it was one of the best battles we've ever seen, and they wanted to share a bit of glory on camera, and I like that. And if you like to race for fun like that, then it shows why you like racing so much. But look at this, Jazzman versus Tinners within 8 attempts on track. It may not make a difference due to penalties, but we are seeing the championship rivals about to fight for position on track. It's amazing. Tinners has got to stay ahead, because otherwise Tinners is going to be in danger of losing more positions, and that's not going to help. He has the advantage compared to Jazzman at this moment in time, but he may have the disadvantage if penalties come into force. A few of these guys though have dropped a little bit on pace, so Tinners could get very, very lucky, because don't forget, Ethan has to pit, Biggie Daddy has to pit, and every person has to pit. So, a few more people getting penalties. The only people not getting penalties is Overtaker, who's still your race leader, Jazzman, Biggie Daddy, Essa, Slicker, and Chicano. So, well done to them. They're in the, what do you call it, clean club. And Stephen Hawkins comms needed. Yeah, maybe. I know if Evil wanted text to speech commentary, you'll probably get quite annoying, because you'll probably hear Evil typing. Well, you won't, because his mic wouldn't work, and well, I would probably see in the chat, Evil Dragon is typing. Yeah, that'll be quite freaky. But anyway, maybe we can try that for a little bit of fun on one of my streams as well, potentially. But I'm not going to put that on the AOR stream, of course, because it's the final race. And I know a few of these guys would want to have some battles. Excuse me, getting myself another drink there. A few of these guys would want to have battles for fun for the final race. It's going to be a bit of a shame when we close the doors, but they have been wanting to organise some fun races off stream on Project Cars 2. So we may not stream them, but as we're moving on to other things in life, but We'll almost certainly be kept up to date on what's happening with them as well. And a big well done, I believe, goes to Jazzman. I think it was Jazzman, who is now, I think, due to the wildcard selection, one of them, anyway. I'm not sure which Jazzman or since, but well done. He is actually a finalist in the Europe Logitech Cup thingy. So well done to him. Well done to Jazzman. I think he didn't qualify in the McLaren. He qualified in another car. So it's going to be quite difficult in the finals if he has to race in the McLaren. But, you know, he has been practicing apparently. I'm not sure if the finals has already happened though. But if it has, I'm really sorry. But yeah, well done to him anyway. And we haven't got that long to go. 12 laps, well 13 laps await us in this race. And yes, it was Jazzman. So I was right. I would have looked like a complete fool if it was not Jazzman. But anyway, Jazzman in the 63 car. And Big Kid Daddy goes into the pit lane for his scheduled stop. He's going to drop down the order because some of his rivals have pitted already. But we're going to see where he ends up in the midfield battle. Ethan will still yet to pit either. Will Ethan pit after seeing that Big Kid Daddy is pitted? He may not know that Big Kid Daddy has pitted at the moment. So that is something. I think you only know a few of the guys pitted. And this is going to get very, very spicy between these guys. The gap. So don't forget, Tinnis has got a 9-second penalty. Jazzman's got a penalty now. Ooh. This could be intriguing. If Overtaker gets a good pit stop, he could jump a few people here. He could definitely jump a few people. Now, I didn't see, but can Evil, I know he may get this like 20 seconds later, but can Evil get the penalties up for me, please? So then I can see what penalty, 3 seconds. So, again, Tinnis getting more penalties than him, but Jazzman getting a 3 second. Now, I think a 3 seconds looked like it was a corner cutting penalty. I think, by the looks of things. And again, it just goes to show the corner cutting is quite common around Fuji. And if F1 was to race here in the F1 games, probably a lot of people, including me, would probably get penalties as well. So, yeah. And it looks like Evil's Windows update is probably not going to be done anytime soon. So it looks like for the final 11 laps or so, well 12 laps, I'll be on my own. But that's not a huge of a deal, to be honest. I did see quite a few people get caught up in the cones in qualifying. Luckily they didn't get caught up in the race so far. And I think a few people got to avoid the curbs a little bit, because if they hit too much of the curb, they either go send themselves into a spin or they could get a time penalty for it, for gaining an advantage as they go up the hill. Still quite sunny at the moment. You can see the snowy, well, it's not really snowy, but more of the mountains showing up in Fuji in Japan. And I need to actually check what part of the season it was. It's actually in the summer, in August actually. Actually no, it may not be in the summer in Japan though. My bad. But anyway, Jazzman is about 3 attempts behind Tinnis. Vetro, 5 attempts. Just look at that battle. We got the Bentley that's gone off. The Bentley that's spun, I think. Who has to go to the escape road. Who is now going behind. Oh, he might be a lap down. I'm not entirely sure. But so did he get damage or something? Because he's way behind. Meanwhile, let's draw our attention to Ethan then. Ethan is in the pits for his mandatory stop. Leaving it a bit late, but will leaving it a bit late help him or would it hinder him? 79% Windows update, says Evil Dragon. So hopefully we could get him for the interviews. That'll be good, won't it? So it'll be better than nothing, won't it? But anyway, don't forget, just a quick rundown. Yeah, it was damage, I think, for Davies out. Yeah, it was damage, a lap down. Okay, so he must have done another pit stop. So, excuse me. Standing so far, just a quick update. Tinnis is leading with 348 points. Jazzman in second with 335 points. Gap 13 points. Tinnis needs 6th place or lower for Jazzman to win the title. Tinnis just needs to outscore Jazzman and Tinnis wins the title. But at the moment, Tinnis is going to drop by quite a bit. Don't forget, Overtaker has yet to stop. Ethan has come across the line in 6th position. Here we go then, battle for the lead on track. Well, battle for the net race lead. Jazzman comfortably takes the lead. He was looking very, very comfortable on the brakes there. He wants to try and eke every advantage he get. He's within a few seconds behind Overtaker now. And you can see the sheer pace of that Lambo compared... Well, Jazzman's Lambo compared to Tinnis at the moment. But maybe Tinnis was looking a little bit less confident there on the brakes. You never know. But I think Jazzman taking more risk because he knows the championship at stake. He knows that it's unlikely that he'll win the title, but he just wants to take every opportunity at his own hands. And we got some more battles happening by the second. Scold is in 5th place. That can equal his best result. Don't forget, Scold does have penalties though. Ethan in 6th. So let me check. So Ethan would score 24. Big Kid Daddy would score 18 points. So as it stands, Big Kid Daddy will get 3rd in the standings. And as it stands, I think, if my calculations are correct, even if Jazzman finishes ahead of Tinnis, Tinnis will win. Because obviously Tinnis will have to score 6th place or lower. Because I don't think penalties are going to change that due to the fact that Jazzman and Tinnis are just on another level compared to these guys. But they've caught up to Overtaker. So will Overtaker let these guys through? Because obviously Overtaker has yet to stop. Or will he go for a fight? He doesn't want to take any risks. If I was him, he knows that he's not in the championship fight, whereas Jazzman and Tinnis are in the championship fight. So I would probably let both of these guys through. Or maybe you'll be working along with someone, helping one person out, not the other. But obviously Jazzman and Tinnis are teammates, of course, in this league. And have been working very well together, like I said earlier on as well. And I would just like to say, what was your favourite overtake of the GT3 season? And I'm actually going to get some more moments, because I was talking about some more moments earlier on as well, but Jazzman just can't get past Overtaker. But that's probably not going to affect matters, because obviously every person's 30 seconds down the road from these guys. Scold is 45 seconds, Ethan's 52 seconds. You know, it is quite, I don't know, it's quite close. And due to the fact that these guys had a second chance to race, it had a chance for more people to change their setups a little bit. Meanwhile, Overtaker goes into the pit lane. Well, it was inevitable, really. Oh, Overtaker took an interesting run to the pit lane there. That was interesting, to say the least. But anyway, Jazzman is now your race leader on track. And definitely Hockenheim, I've got to say. Hockenheim in GT3 has definitely been one of my favourite to commentate. But anyway, Overtaker. Where is Overtaker going to be ending up on the, well, basically in the field? 3rd place. So Overtaker is going to be getting a podium. And hopefully he keeps it like that way. So what is going to be the gap between 1st and 3rd? Because obviously the Dow will probably change pretty soon. But not yet, of course. Everybody in the top 7 has got penalties except Overtaker. So Overtaker was probably loving this at the moment. He's like, you know what? I ain't got no penalties. This could help me. But the gap's 31 seconds. So, you know, unless Tinnis and Jazzman have a little bit of a coming together, which it probably won't happen, then Overtaker's probably going to have to settle for third. Meanwhile, Big Kid Daddy on the move for Vetro. Both going side by side into this long straight here. You can see Essa right in the middle of the shot as well. That may come into force if either of those two make a mistake. Don't forget, Vetro is Ethan's teammate. Vetro will be helping his teammate out, trying to get third. But like Ethan said earlier on in our little chat thing, getting third place in the championship is going to be impossible for him. But he just wants to have a little bit of fun, I've got to say. As Big Kid Daddy's gone off. Big Kid Daddy has gone off. So I don't know what happened there. He may have lost on his own on the grass, but that's very unfortunate. So we lost one driver. Who's that? I will need to double check that. We have lost one driver. So we lost Pren, obviously. And that's Davies out. Yeah, Davies out. Has retired, which was to be expected due to his damage. I didn't think he could race anymore. Maybe the damage got too much, so that's sad for him. It was the last time that we saw the Bentley, which was a bit of a shame there. But I would like to see these guys do some donuts. So if anyone's watching the stream in the background, can you do donuts at the end, please? That would be great. That would be great to end off the Project Cars 2 season on a high there. Big Kid Daddy's all the way down to 9th. So how many points does 9th place get? 16. Again, not... I think Big Kid Daddy's still gonna get third in the championship. But we can see, I think, a few people... I think both Tinnis and Jazzman is lapping Zout, I believe. Yep, they are lapping Zout 101. Zout having some fun, still keeping going on. I've got to say, Zout has got the Endeavour Award, I've got to say, for trying hard, even if the going gets tough. Usually if I have the most horrible of races, I keep going. But I don't do any Project Cars races at all, because usually I just end up in the wall. That's why I mainly commentate Project Cars 2 races rather than race it. I race some Formula 1 races from time to time, but I basically, you know, still not good at it. Much better in the commentary box compared to different situations. But there we go. So, every person, 4th place, on for one of his best results of the season. Scold in 5th place. Could end his season on a high, as do a few other drivers. Ethan in 6th. Could he get another position of these guys? We'll have to find out. We're on lap 31 right now of this motor race. The final 7 or 6 laps of Project Cars 2 GT3 leagues has been, like we said earlier on in the race, there's been some really good memories of GT3 that I've really enjoyed. And I can almost hear myself, but there we go. But anyway, Jazzman and Tinnis, 8 tenths behind. And we're having seen another battle as well. Chicano and Slicker. Chicano and Slicker, best friends, wanting to have some battles on camera just like we've seen in the sprint races. And we're going to see it again as well here, which is great to see. I wonder who's going to be faster. Both in the Ferrari. And I love the Ferrari sounding engine on this game. Shame the Ferrari doesn't perform well in real life as it does on this game. But the Ferrari's having a strong showing. Obviously with Overtaker in 3rd position as they go down the hill here. Can't believe how quick this race was going to go. I thought commentating on my own, the race will be very, very slow. But no, it's gone ever so quickly. And you can see Tinnis is just eating into Jazzman by the second. It may not make the difference to Tinnis's charge, but as it stands, Tinnis is looking set to be on course to be the Season 16 GT3 champion for Project Cars 2, the final PS4 Tier 1 champion on Project Cars 2. I need to double check who the first one was actually, but Tinnis will at the moment look like he's going to get to be the honours to be the final one. So that 1-1 getting a penalty, and we got Chicano and Slicker having a battle and getting lapped by the the two leaders. So that's going to be interesting. We could see Slicker is trying with all his might to try and defend Chicano as he possibly can. I was just worried it was going to get all horrible, but they let Jazzman and Tinnis through anyway, because they didn't want to be the reason. And Evil Dragon is on 84%, so it is looking a little bit likely that Mr. Evil Dragon could join me in the interview box. Fingers crossed. But if not, I will be doing interviews for the first time, so that should be intriguing. And I'm just seeing what other battles we got. We got maybe Vetro and Essa with a second ahead of each other, as well as Essa and Big Kid Daddy. We've obviously got Tinnis and Jazzman, Chicano and Slicker, and I think that's it. Everybody else is running their own race at the moment. We've also got Every Person and Scold having some good runs as well. So everyone just wants to give us a show on the final lap. Maybe some people are slowing down just to give us some battles. That's good, isn't it? Some of them may not be having the most exciting races, but they're definitely showing that they are loving these GT3 cars. And yeah, Jazzman. Yeah, I've got to say, 4 GT3 champs in a straight line earlier. Yeah, that looked pretty good. That looked pretty good. So Big Kid Daddy in 9th place is chasing down the 2 Porsche cars of Essa and Vetro. We got the Lambo. Obviously, we know the Lambo's faster. So can Big Kid Daddy prove that? And I think Big Kid Daddy just wants to end the season on a high, because finishing first place would still be a huge achievement for him. Big Kid Daddy is a veteran in GT3. This could go 3 abreast here if they're not careful, but let's hopefully this doesn't go 3 abreast, because 3 abreast around here just does not go well without any way, shape of, without any stretch of the imagination. Sorry, I'm not getting my words correctly there at the moment. There we go. We got Big Kid Daddy and Essa going side by side. Essa trying to hold on to, looks like the shortest line inside, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but Essa, here he goes. Essa takes 8th place and retains 8th place from Big Kid Daddy. Big Kid Daddy, the turn 1 could be the best opportunity here to get the final lunge that he is looking for. He only has a few opportunities. They're on lap 34 now. They're on the lead lap, so they've got a few more opportunities to get some overtakings done. We could be in for a spicy end to the GT3 series, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the league so far. Well, the league from start to finish. And I've got a few thank yous to make as well at the end, which I will do in a second. But Slicker versus Chicano, looking really, really feisty indeed. And we did see a bit of a lock-up from Slicker. This may have given Chicano a little bit more breathing space to fight, maybe. Or will this be it for the battle? I wonder if this could get close on the final lap. I really do hope it is, and it's not that long to go. Anything can happen. Don't forget, Tinnis has got a 9-second penalty. A 9-second penalty. And Zhao has spun. Zhao has spun in the grass, and he's now in last place. Well, he was in last place anyway, but that was a bit of a shame. But anyway, We're still seeing this three-car battle, which I'm really loving right now. I mean, three of the guys who've shown good respect. Essa has come light a lot this season, has improved quite a lot. And is he going to go for the lunge on Vetro? Oh, that's very, very tight going into turn 1. And Vetro just holds it on the number 17 car. Don't forget, Vetro used to run Vetro 666. And now Vetro is doing Vetro 42 right now. And Vetro has had a birthday in the GT3 lead this season. Maybe that's had a bit of luck on him. Joking, I'm only joking. Vetro having a great race. But anyway, on the final lap, Antinous is looking on course to be the Project Cars 2 GT3 champion for PS4 Elite Tier for Season 16. It's inevitable, really. The positions are going to stay as they are due to the gap that they have. These two have been amazing. They've been dominant this season, shown why they've been the class of the GT3 League this season. They've been challenged by Gaza and Boyer Access, every person in the pits. That's interesting. But anyway, not that long to go. Just past turn 14. And this is going to be a memorable moment, a bittersweet moment for the two championship contenders. Both Jazzman and Tinnis go side by side. They're flashing their lights. Oh my God, you guys, you're going to make me emotional. But anyway, Jazzman is going to come across the line to take the win. But it's not going to be enough. Tinnis is your Season 16 PS4 champion, GT3 champion. Well deserved as they crash for good measure. Congratulations to Tinnis. Well deserved. And well done, Jazzman, for taking the win there. And yeah, there we go. Tinnis doing some donuts. Overtaker comes across the line in third. And we got Scold, who gets Ethan due to penalties by the looks of things. In fourth, Ethan fifth. But we'll see as Overtaker comes across the line. After there's more people finishing. I only just realised that. I do apologise, but there we go. So Scold, Overtaker in third position. Again, the flash of the light to say goodbye to the GT3 series for a very long time. And we've got a huge battle on our hands here. Even though the leaders have crossed the line, the race isn't over for these three yet. This is insane right now. We have got Essa and we got Vetra and Big Kid Daddy right in the middle of this. This could be very, very close. This could be a photo finish. Look at that. Vetra's got to go for the risk here at the moment. Let's see what he could do. So Big Kid Daddy, Big Teddy's going to hold to the line. This is going to be a photo finish. Who's going to come out on top? I don't know. Wow, look at that. That was absolutely insane. That was the closest finish, if I do say so myself. But I do believe Big Kid Daddy gets ahead of them on penalties. And Big Kid Daddy is confirmed to be third in the standings. So, well done to him. But the man of the night is Jazzman. But the man of the season has got to be Tinnis. Congratulations to him. He takes the title. And we got Overtaker for one of his second best result of the season. I didn't say much about Overtaker. And guess what? He came in third. So, you know, just goes to show if I don't mention him too much, then it's all good. So, anyway, Skull in fourth. Ethan fifth. Essa in sixth. Big Kid Daddy seventh. Vetcher eighth. Every person ninth. Slicker in 10th. Chicano in 11th. Zhao in 12th. Davey Zhao 13th. Who unfortunately has retired, and Pran unfortunately retired due to an unfortunate incident in lap 1. So, my only question is Evil's Discord fixed? Is his Windows update good? Because if so, I'll like him to do the interviews. If not, I'll have to do them. But there we go. This has wrapped up the end there of Project Cars 2. But before we end it there, it's time for some interviews. I'm just going to wait and see how Evil's update is doing first before we invite the guys in to be in the interview box. Don't worry, Ethan, I do see you in there. It's all good, but I think it's not going to be enough for Evil to join me in the interview box either. It would have been nice for him to join me, but Windows Update at times can take a long time on his laptop, and I know from experience. So we're going to drag these guys, and hopefully we can get as many people in the interview box as we possibly can. And we are gonna start with Ethan, as Ethan has finished ahead of these guys. So let's bring him in. Oh, there's a load of people joining in the box. So I mean, we're gonna try and get as many people as we can. So we'll bring them in one by one. Shame Evil is not here to help me really. So anyway, let's start. And let's see if I can drag him in. There we go. Hopefully, Ethan, you can hear me. So the final race then. It sounded like it was a bit of a quiet race on your end at times. Tell us how the race went for you.
Yeah, it was a quiet one, wasn't it? I thought I went into this race qualifying was a bit of a thing. We're going to talk about that. But just started the race. I was thinking about how I could get through the field as quickly as possible. Thankfully, some people decided to think that for me and can have a bit of a crash. So it kind of took some weight off me, allowed me to make some really quick positions. So like at the end of the lap, I was like, fifth or fourth or something. So yeah, it made it super simple for me, thankfully. But it was just a quiet one really. But I'm not too fussed really, because I haven't had a lot of time to commit to this particular event, with other important commitments, doing like team events with Sidemax and stuff like that. So I've had a lot of other commitments to doing that, but I'm still pretty happy with where I've come, especially for limited practice and stuff like that. You know, end of the day, it was just about having fun with the last race of the series.
Yeah, and you scored some really good results, still without that elusive win. But I've got to say, what was your favourite race this season to take part in?
My favourite race this season? Oh, that's a tricky one. Probably Bathurst, I think. When you just look at, me, Tinnis and Jazzman, all three of us, pushing each other literally within, a couple of tenths or even thousands of each other, really pushing the boundaries of what was possible there. So, yeah, that's got to be my hands down favourite race of the season.
And we have come to the end of Project Cars 2 for Good, but we may as well ask that question whilst everybody else is in there. So we'll stay in here for the time being, and we'll bring in our second place in the championship, Mr. Jazzman there. A great battle you had with Tinnis towards the end there, both going doing a flash of the lights for the final lap there. To tell us, how do you think that race went for you? Because you saw that Tinnis had got penalties. What was in your mind at that moment?
I realised Tinnis got a couple of penalties, and I was thinking of going the overcut, go quite deep in the race. But once I saw him get a couple of penalties, I was like, I'm just going to pit in and sit behind him and just take my race from there and keep it on track. I was lucky to overtook him, and I'm just really pleased with my pace today. And I'm just really happy that I grabbed the win.
Yeah, because you weren't expecting it, that's for sure. And coming into the race, you had like a 13-point gap over Tinnis. Did you ever think you were, even though you did not do enough, did you ever think you were going to get the title off Tinnis today, or did you just want to have some fun?
Obviously, you always got to believe. Anything can happen in racing. I mean, could spin, he could have a big crash and stuff. So there was a small hope, so to speak, in me, and you never know what could happen. But realistically, I knew Tinnis was gonna do what he needed to do, and I'm just really happy that we were able to, win the team championship, get lots of loads of 1-2s. He was the better driver this season, a lot less mistakes than I did, And yeah, so I'm very happy.
Yes, indeed. But basically, looking at the standings, basically you've been getting 1-2s consistently since round, well, pretty much the double racing Zolder, really, since you've been getting these 1-2s. You've got quite a few 1-2s at the start of the season, well, so you're looking quite dominant all race. What was your favourite race of season? I'll ask about the season as a whole in a minute when we get everyone in, but what was your favourite race this season that you took part in?
My favorite race, Daytona was a good fun, lots of battling. But probably I'd have to go with Long Beach because I was able to have my best race, no mistakes. I was really on it week, and it was just nice to have a dominating victory. So that's probably my highlight of the year was Long Beach.
Yeah, you looked very, very comfortable there, to be honest. You never put a foot wrong in there, so I've got to agree with that. And for the first time this season, we have got someone that usually doesn't come in for interviews, but he's waiting in the interview box, ready to go. That was a nice surprise. Yeah, Jazzman's quite shocked about this as well.
Yeah.
So here he is. Here he is, our championship winner, Tinnis. How are you doing there? Tell us, what are your words? Thinking that you are the championship final GT3 champion for Project Cars 2, well, ever. How do you feel?
I'm of course really happy to be the champion. After all those seasons I raced with BKT, Gazer and Jasmine, of course. I mean, I never had a real shot for it, but yeah, this season was my season. It seems like, I mean, look at the wins I made. Yeah, it was just unbelievable this season. But a big thank you to my teammate Jasmine, because without his setups I wouldn't have made it this far.
You just looked pretty much unstoppable all season with your teammate Jazzman. But let's go through your race then in Fuji tonight. I saw you getting that penalties and it ended up collating to 9 seconds. Were you worried that a few people were going to try and catch up so you could lose that gap that you needed to take the title, or were you not worried about that?
No, not at all. I mean, I at the start during the practice race we had last 2 weeks ago, I already saw we had quite a bit of pace advantage over the others. So it was, at least that was my thinking. It was another two-way battle to the finish. So it was basically, yeah, just maintaining the gap, maintaining the pace, and yeah, stay behind Jasmine. I mean, at the start of the race, for me it was never a race. It was just finish the race and at least P4, and then I'm in.
Yeah, and have the gap you needed, which you did, to be honest, as well. Now, Jazzman said his favourite race was Long Beach. What was your favourite race this season that you enjoyed?
That must have been Spa. The mixed conditions.
Yes.
I just managed to get in front of Jasmine after the pit stop, and that was race victory for me.
Yeah, I enjoyed that as well. That was a lot of fun as well. And did you ever think? When did you think that you were like, right, I'm gonna win this title? Which round do you think that you had the confidence to think, I'm gonna win this thing?
It was at Sugo. Sugo was the make or break race for me, at least. I mean, Jasmine, I saw his pace and he could win there. And it was only on the last day I found something in the setup. So that was the reason I could get the same pace as Jasmine. And yeah, unfortunately he made a mistake there and had some damage. But yeah, at the end, that was for me the most important race to claim the championship.
Yeah, that must have given you some more confidence, I've got to say. And I'm gonna bring Big Kid Daddy and Essa together, I think, at the moment, because Big Kid Daddy and Essa, well, I'm gonna start with Big Kid Daddy. Those final few laps was just insane. Tell us what was going through in your head when you were battling the likes of Essa and Vetro.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. Oh, that's what I asked for, like good racing like that. Yeah, it was a challenge. They was really quick on the straights as well. yeah, it was just brilliant. I really enjoy it.
Obviously, last week you couldn't connect due to PSN issues, and obviously we were glad you're back this week. Did it give you a lot more time to change your setup to adapt to the conditions?
I didn't practice all week, and yeah, it probably showed at the start of the race for me. The mistake.
And Essa, I've got to say, you come in leaps and bounds this season. Tell us, how did it feel when you were battling against the likes of Big Kid Daddy and Vetro on the final few laps? It must have been remarkable there that you were almost matching the pace and having a nice battle to end the season on a high. How was it for you?
Well, it was awesome, to be honest. Probably the best 5 laps of the season for enjoyment. Bit of rubbing, which is all a bit of fun, but overall cleaner. That's what it's all about.
And obviously, Big Kid Daddy, one of the people to keep it clean for the majority of the race, apart from a few spins. I've got to say, good sportsmanship when you let your I think it was Davey. I'm not entirely sure. Let him through there.
Yeah.
I won't talk too much because I'm trying to keep things positive. But yeah, well done to you on that. But how was your race up until that point? Was there any other things going through your mind? I'll start with Big Kid Daddy first.
Yeah, I was like racking it over my head, like, oh man, what a bad start, like, because I had it in my head, oh yeah, aim for the outside, and I don't know why, I went for the inside, and Overtaker and Jazz was close, and my brakes locked up, and I had to go on the grass, otherwise I would have hit Overtaker, and then I come back after turn 1, and then obviously my back end went out on the just before the fast left-hander. And obviously a few people sort of took avoiding action and had a bit of an accident, and I can only apologise for that. It's not very often that kind of thing happens with me, but yeah, so it was just playing through my head constantly through a few laps, and I had damage as well. So
yeah, that must have been worrying for you. But what helped you try and get rid of what happened at that moment and concentrate on the rest of the race?
You just got to, ain't you? You've got to grit your teeth and get on with it. And yeah, I mean, I didn't know where I was going to be battling. I was just trying to catch up, but yeah, I mean, it was a bonus to have a race at the end of it with Vetro and Essa. It was brilliant.
And Essa, before that point, how was that race for you from your perspective? You were just aiming to pretty much finish the race. Could you come on leap and bounds this season with a massive improvement? Did you ever think you would be fighting for potential P9 in the championship instead of last for a change?
Yeah, as far as this race is concerned, it got off to a pretty good start. Kept to the outside around turn 1, just make sure, like, give people space and that. Then come up to turn 3. I think I felt like I'm not saying I did, but I felt like I got a little tap from the rear just going into the corner. Then come around the other side and saw Ferraris and Lambos flipping all over the place, and it was
crazy.
Just trying to avoid it. Yeah, crazy. Just trying to avoid it all to reduce the chance of damage. And then it was a case that Ethan got past me, and I just wanted to try and keep with him as best I could. Which up until the pits I was sort of doing all right at that, and came out the pits, and obviously Slicker got a quicker pit stop than me, and he came out in front of me, so it was sort of like just hold fire and just try and bang out consistent lap times. And eventually, yeah, then it was the last few laps of the race, the back end was getting a bit twitchy and a bit of a handful.
It must have.
But then it was, last few laps, that was just the highlight of the season. But yeah, the overall this season's been obviously my best one. Felt like I've got the best I could do. Previous ones I've just let myself down too often, so it's been a good one for me.
That's brilliant. Well, keeping on you for a second, Essa, and then I'll speak to Big Kid Daddy about this. What was your favourite race this season? I can probably guess what your favourite race was this season, but I'm probably going to get it wrong. But you know, I'll let you say it, and hopefully I've got it right. So, what has been your favourite race, Essa, this season? Is it Belgium?
Yeah, alright, fair dues, best result of the season, but I've got to say this one, to be honest.
Oh, nice.
Because Belgium, although great result, it was a fairly boring race up until I had issues with spins at the end of the race. So this one, to actually get a reasonable result and fighting for a fair few laps, that's more fun than just plodding around knocking out lap times on your own.
Yeah, definitely. And what about you, Big Kid Daddy? What was your favourite race this season?
God, what races have we had again?
We've had, I think, it was Daytona, Bathurst. We had Kota. We had Long Beach, Austria, Zolder, Silverstone, Spa, and Sugo, and Fuji. I almost forgot what we raced at tonight.
Yeah. I mean, for results, obviously Long Beach and the first race in the season.
Daytona.
Daytona, yeah. That for results, but yeah, I mean, tonight was just as good, so I can't really put a finger on anyone. I like racing just as much as getting results, so yeah, tonight equals it, to be fair, even though, you know, I had a bad bit first half of the race. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll get one more person in the interview box, and we've got Scold here, who did the last 2 races of the season. Scold, you actually finished this race and got a pretty decent result out of it. How do you feel about that?
Probably doesn't even know how to use
Scold. Scold.
Talk, Lewis.
He's been waiting in the interview ready session for so long, he's gone off for
Yeah.
make cup tea.
Well, whilst we wait for Skull, because he probably doesn't know how to use Discord, we're gonna trip down memory lane, and I'll ask you to think of your favourite season to take part in. And I'm gonna be starting with obviously our champion, Tennis. What was your favourite season out of all the seasons you took part in? 'Cause you took part in a lot. What was your favourite season?
I think my first season with AOR. I mean, we had I can't really remember. I think it was season 12.
2 seasons ago. No, 2
Yeah.
seasons ago.
14, I think.
No. Yeah, it was. I mean, the first race I ever took part at the AOR, and because of a fuel issue, I couldn't win that one. But yeah, that season it was a 4-way fight for the championship. So I think that season was, for me at least, the best.
Oh, nice. That's great to hear. And we'll go in championship order, I think. So next will be Jazzman.
It'll be season 14, with that 4-way battle, and yeah, that probably was the best season, the most intense season. So yeah, I'd have to say that's probably the best one for me that I've been part of.
And there's someone that agrees with you, because I asked that question to Evil in the chat earlier, and he said that was his favourite season as well to commentate on. So there we go. Big Kid Daddy, you're next. What was your favourite season?
Oh, there's been so many. Wow, I've been here, season 1.
Wow.
I've got to say, last season springs to mind where I felt like I stepped up finally.
Which was season 15, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favourites. It's recent, what springs to mind anyway.
Ethan?
Well, I've been going on for quite a while as well. Probably season 13, because that season was a bit of a break, a deal breaker for me, especially after coming after a shambolic season in season 12. Like, that was my worst season to date. In season 13, that was just a fresh of breath air. Decent pace. Consistently fighting at the front. Even though there was a few times where I was robbed of a win or I made a mistake myself, end of the day, season 13 is always going to be, I think, one of my strongest performances in GT3, I think.
Oh, nice. I think that's a good season, I've got to say. And we've done Big Daddy, we've done Tennis, we've done Ethan, Jazzman, Essa. There we go.
I've probably done the least here. I've done 4 seasons, 3 in tier 1. So.
It doesn't have to be tier 1, it could be any of the tiers you were in Project Cars 2.
Yeah, probably my best result was season 13, but I would say probably this one was probably the best season yet, because finally managed to get a little bit more competitive.
I've got to say, that was your best season in Tier 1. It looked like you really enjoyed it
Yeah.
as well. Still no sign of Skull. The Skull still tries to figure out his Discord. So, Skull, can you speak?
I'm busy typing it. I'm saying push to talk, and he's saying push to what?
He was talking in the ready for interview.
Yeah, I think I don't know why. It's the thing is I can't do anything because I don't have the permissions to do those things for Discord. So
Anyway, it's gone.
he's gone, unfortunately. So
He's back in the ready to interview room.
I think he's going to try and sort it out by the looks of things.
He wants you to invite him again.
Right, he wants me to invite. Okay, so let's give it a go. Take 2. Skull, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Oh, can I?
Yay!
Yeah.
There we go. So, Skull, did you do the last 2 races of the season? And the last round sounds like you had a little bit more luck on your side and some more fun. Even though you only did the last 2 races of the season, how was it for you competing in GT3 once again?
Weird, because I think before a race at Sugo, I didn't play the game till the end of last season. But it was good to get back into it. This race, I particularly enjoyed. I had a good race of Vectro, had a big accident, and it was good to get fourth. Yeah, it was good to get fourth again. Good to be back at the top, especially in a car that's like the Renault.
Yeah, what made you pick the Renault for that car
Ethan
for the
told
final
me.
2 races? Was it just wanted to have some different cars on the grid, or did you just wanted a challenge?
Ethan told me. You should go on the Renault.
Fair enough. Did it bring back memories when you were battling with Vetro early on in the race? Because before the accident, the battles were absolutely fantastic to see. Some good respect on track. Did it bring back memories?
Oh yeah, it's good to be battling in this game. I mean, it's a bit harder for me because I'm not used to it, but it was alright.
I would ask what your favourite race was this season, but you only had 2 races, so there's no point. So I'll ask you the question: your favourite season, because you took part in quite a lot of seasons in GT3. So I'll ask you that question: what is your favourite season?
Either season 11 or season 13.
Ooh, yeah, season 13. I think looked like you had some good results there. A few of them, you almost had the win there as well, and
bottled a few.
Yes, I didn't. I can't remember if I mentioned it on stream whilst it was quiet, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But yeah, luckily we were able to hear you this time, because otherwise it would have been a disaster. Unfortunately, no sign of Evil, because I don't think his Windows update is done, sadly. So unfortunately, he's not able to join me for the final race, but he's still in text chat loving it, and he still says season 14 is his best season, and he's not letting me live it down. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the final race of the GT3 season. It's been a bit bittersweet, I've got to say, but I'd like to say thanks to all the tier coordinators from PC, PS4 and Xbox One out of the whole Project Cars 2 seasons for doing a great job. Thank you to Jazzman and Slicker for doing a great job coordinating the Tier 1 League this season as well. And also thank you to our co-commentator Evil Dragon, who was the lead commentator and did a really, really good job on the cameras as well. So thank you so much to him. Also thanks to people that have been commentating throughout the seasons, that have been Vetro, Ethan as well, and loads of other people that I can't remember. So thank you guys so much for that, and I'm going to leave you guys to it for now. So thank you guys so much, and we don't know when we'll see you next for Project Cars action, but I've been Jess Games 95. Sorry that Evil couldn't join you, and Evil's been evil if he was here, and we will see you soon. Goodbye.